They were the hottest couple in Hollywood. Frank and Ava loved each other and fought a lot, but she said something terrible in November 1952. Ava said the 9 shocking words after ending her pregnancy in secret. He broke down totally when he found out the truth. He took some sleeping pills. He cut his wrists, even though he still sent her flowers every year after they got divorced. But those 9 mean words stood in the way, like a wall they couldn't get over. She was born in Growtown, North Carolina, on Christmas Eve 1922. She didn't like having Jesus on her birthday. Afterward, she wrote, "It was a long time before I forgave the Lord for that." She was the 7th child and the youngest. Her father, Jonas, was 44 years old, and her mother, Molly, was 39. They weren't rich, but they were doing pretty well for the area. Jonas had a farm with tobacco and cotton, a sawmill, and even a country shop. There was a lot of space in their house, even so it didn't have power, running water, or even plumbing inside. Ava went to Baptist church as a child. Her dad had donated wood and work to help build it. She walked around barefoot in the farm fields as a child and helped with tobacco from the time she could stand up. She worked late into the night with her father to dry tobacco leaves. She saved her 1 pair of shoes for important events. She would always remember how it felt to be barefoot. She felt calm when she walked on warm dirt, even when she was a Hollywood star. But those first few years were tough. They lost everything when the crops failed and the boll weevil came through. It used to be that the family owned the land, but now they rent it out. It wasn't easier going to school. People made fun of Ava for wearing used clothes. Then there was another blow. When Ava was 11, the school where her mother worked closed down in 1934. She moved to Virginia with her family and started a boarding house, but her dad got sick. Ava went to see him at Riverside Hospital every day after school. She told him about the news, mostly about President Roosevelt. Jonas never said anything bad, but his health kept getting worse. He died of bronchitis on March 26, 1938. Ava was 15 years old. His death broke her heart. It took her years to fully understand the loss. As she watched a father walk his daughter down the aisle at Grace Kelly's wedding, she broke down in tears. She thought to herself, "I wish I had a father like that to lean on." Ava and her mom went back to North Carolina after the funeral. Molly had another place for people to stay. Ava tried to keep her mind on the future. At the end of high school in 1939, she went to Atlantic Christian College. She learned how to type, do shorthand, and write for business. She wanted to work as a secretary. For a poor girl with no ties, it was a good job. She had no idea she could be an actress. She had never been trained or been on stage before, and her southern accent was so thick that no one outside of North Carolina could understand her. But everything changed when they went to New York City in the summer of 1940. She went to visit her big sister Bappy. Lawrence Tarr, Bappy's husband, worked as a skilled photographer. He drew some pictures of Ava to give to their mom. One of those pictures of a beautiful woman in silence ended up in his Fifth Avenue office window. When a young law clerk from Loew's Theaters saw the picture, she said that someone should send her information to MGM. Larry did that very thing. He made copies all night and sent them to the New York office of MGM. They were shocked. Ava was asked to do a screen test by MGM. It wasn't a real tryout. She did nothing but walk, turn, and arrange flowers. It wasn't even worth it to record her voice. It was hard to understand her southern drawl. Louis B. Mayer, the head of the studio, saw the video and said, "She can't sing, act, or talk. She's great." MGM hired her for $50 a week. These days, that's about $985. Ava, who was 18 years old at the time, came to Hollywood with her sister as a grown-up. She only had 1 pair of shoes and a cardboard bag. She had no experience at all. There was a sneaky phrase in her contract that let MGM lower her pay to $35 a week for up to 12 weeks a year. George Sidney, an executive at the studio, called her a good piece of merchandise. In that way, they saw her, not as a person, but as a thing. Ava was in 17 movies between 1942 and 1945. Not many of her jobs stood out. She had one line some days and none others. She played party girls, dancers, socialites, and actors who walked down the street. She later said, "I was wallpaper." During that time, MGM made her do a lot of picture shoots. They put her in swimsuits and underwear and sent the pictures to U.S. magazines for boys. She was famous for her looks, not for what she could do. MGM was trying to shape her behind the scenes. To get rid of her accent, they put her in speech classes. They showed her how to walk, sit, smile, and stand like a proper lady. Hair and makeup artists were always messing with her hair and makeup. It hurt Ava. She was so scared of being seen by the camera that she would drink to calm down. It was rare to get real acting lessons. Charles Elton, an actor, was the only person who ever took the time to help her. Gregory Peck once told her she should try playing on stage. MGM said no, that's what they wanted her to do, but she wasn't ready. After that, she took her first real shot. It was made in 1946 and starring Ava. It was a noir movie about a woman who goes back to her hometown and gets caught in a love triangle. George Raft played her love interest and suggested she get the part. Critics could still see how new she was, but she had a lot of promise. The movie got mostly good reviews. It meant a lot to Ava. Finally, someone thought she was more than just pretty. Mark Hellinger, a director, was one of them. After seeing Whistle Stop, he wanted her right away for his next movie. The Killers was the movie, which was based on an Ernest Hemingway short story. Universal gave MGM $1,000 a week for 7 weeks just to borrow her. Ava was making $200 every month. That shows how badly they thought she was worth. The Killers came out on August 28, 1946. It made $10,341 in one theater on its first day. $3,000 more than any movie had ever made there. A feeling came over me. 4 Oscars were given to it, and Ava became a star. For years, her part as Kitty Collins, the mysterious and seductive main character of the movie, set the tone for how she was seen on screen. Even Hemingway liked it a lot. He kept a copy of the movie at home and showed it to people who came over. He told Ava that she had nailed his vision of a woman, hot, sad, dangerous, and soft all at the same time. He even tried to get her to be in more movies based on his books. MGM kept her on a short leash, though. Gregory Peck asked her to be in a play, but MGM wouldn't let her. It wasn't a lead part, that's why. Having so much power over her made it hard for her to grow. Ava found ways to get around it, though. In the 1950s, she played a lot of different and risky parts, like mythical figures, duchesses, and noblewomen. To show her range, she wanted people to see it. Ava always made sure that there was pain and desire underneath the glamour, even in The Barefoot Contessa, where she played a beautiful dancer who became a movie star. That changed a lot when Mambo came out in 1953. John Ford, the director, didn't even want her at first. He was thinking about Maureen O'Hara. Ava said Ford was the meanest man in the world because he was so mean. During shooting in Kenya, things got so bad that Clark Gable left the set after seeing them fight very badly. But by the time the movie was over, she loved Ford. Even with all the trouble, Mambo was a huge success. It made $3 million and cost $1 million to make. Even better, Ava was nominated for her first Oscar for it. She almost got the New York Film Critics Award because of how charming and deep she was seen by critics. It didn't matter that she lost the Oscar to Audrey Hepburn. She had finally shown what she could do. Behind the scenes, Ava and Grace Kelly became close during the shoot. In the middle of Africa, in a tent, they drank fake champagne. After that, Grace would always send Ava a birthday gift, no matter where she was in the world. In 1954, The Barefoot Contessa came out. It was shot in Rome and other places in Italy, and it made her famous all over the world. MGM gave her a loan of $200 and 10% of the movie's gross, which is more than $1 million. The deal made the company $1 million. Ava $1.60. She didn't like being called the world's most beautiful animal after the movie, but she couldn't get away from it. She played dancer, earned star Maria Vargas, a role that was based on Rita H. Worth. Some reviewers didn't like how moody and mysterious the movie was. Bogart, who worked with her, didn't like being around her. He said she didn't give him any ideas and that he would even mess up lines to make them have to be retaken. Ava knew the truth, though. It wasn't his show, it was hers. Even though there was tension, Contessa had friends. François Truffaut, a French director, gave it high marks. Fellini got ideas for Dolce Vita from it. Ava's hot but broken performance set the standard for a new type of female star. Yes, it was glamorous, but it was also painful, real, and human. In 1956, after 2 years, she worked with George Cukor on Bhawani Junction. This time, she wasn't just a pretty princess or beauty queen. Her name was Victoria Jones, and she was Anglo-Indian. She was stuck between love, war, and different cultures. The huge price for the movie was $6 million, and some of it was shot in Lahore, Pakistan. It was brutal, hot, chaotic, and hard on her emotions, but the part pushed her further than anything else she had done. She told him that this was one of the few times she really felt like she understood a part. Cukor saw something that no one else did. He later wrote to her, "I never get tired of this bit or that, no matter how many times I watch it. The more I see it, the more depth I find." Some critics agreed. Newsweek said she was surprisingly good at what she did. The New York Times said that she had a wide range of strong emotions. Cukor said she was difficult, smart, pessimistic, desperate, and attractive. He said she was a very interesting creature, and in a moment that she will never forget, he gave her the highest praise. Ava is a gentleman. Ava Gardner, on the other hand, was dating different guys the whole time. It all began in 1941. Mickey Rooney was the biggest star in America at the time that Ava Gardner met him. Dorothy Gardner had just moved to Hollywood. He was dressed as Carmen Miranda for a movie on her second day at MGM Studios. She was tall, he was short, and he made $5,000 a week. Over $90,000 in cash today. He was also crazy about it. For 2 weeks, he called her every night. She agreed to dinner, but only if her sister could come. He wasn't sneaky, though. Mickey was loud, funny, and always putting on a show. He sent gifts. He was everywhere. He gave her a 6-carat diamond ring in the end. It was said that America's favorite boy next door was set on marrying this new, shy beauty. He really meant it. Ava was 19 years old when he told his friends, "I'll marry her no matter what." She grew up in a small town in North Carolina. She had never been with a man before and didn't want to be famous. Mickey, on the other hand, was eager to get everything. MGM didn't like the thought, though. If their golden boy gets married, it could hurt ticket sales, of course. They had to ask Louis B. Mayer, the boss of the studio, for clearance. He said okay, but only if the wedding wasn't noisy. They got married in a small church in California on January 10, 1942. Ava wore a blue suit with flowers on it. There will be no dream wedding without the white dress. In the end, MGM set up fake pictures to make the wedding look perfect, but it wasn't. The trouble began right away. Mickey left to play golf the morning after the wedding. Ava was very sad. He drank. He went after women. He took risks. He had fun. He wasn't interested in getting married. Ava, who was only a girl, was shocked. After 7 months, everything broke down. She asked for a divorce and said he was mentally abusive. May 21, 1943 was the official date of the divorce. Ava's mom died of breast cancer on the same day. Years later, Ava said that Mickey did have one good moment. He danced, sang, and made her laugh when they went to see her dying mother. She would never forget it. Howard Hughes came into the picture that same year. He was 43 years old. She was 21 years old. He was very wealthy, very smart, and very insecure. He was obsessed with her. They fought all the time. During an angry fight one night, he punched her. A bowl of ash was smashed over his head. There was blood everywhere. She believed he might be dead. Hughes asked her to marry him again the next morning when he woke up, but MGM helped her get away. He broke into her house. He went after her. He broke into her room one night because he thought she was cheating. He had a bad smell. Even though he dated young girls, he was always interested in Ava. She got married again in 1945, this time to Artie Shaw, the leader of the band. He told her she was wonderful. After they got married, he tried to change everything about her. He made fun of the books she liked. He threw her favorite love story across the room and told her to read Dostoevsky instead. She had to go to UCLA because he said so. He gave her a speech about politics and psychology. She took an IQ test because she felt dumb around him. She was shocked by her score. It was high, but that didn't stop him from making fun of her. He even hired a professional chess player to teach her. A 15-minute win over her made him never play again. After exactly 1 year and 1 day, they got a divorce. Ava moved into Hollywood after her split. She often drank all of these things in one night: gin, tequila, martinis, and Mai Tais. She smoked 3 packs of Winstons every day by 1945. She wasn't allowed to stay in hotels in New York and Madrid. She went to the bathroom in the Ritz entrance. She was crazy, beautiful, and could not be stopped. She took Grace Kelly to a brothel in Rome just for fun. Grace was kissing a stranger in the back seat of a taxi when they left. They tried to keep Ava's image in check, but she got crazier as they worked. Shaw not only made fun of her, he hurt her. When he left, Ava began drinking more and more. The drinks she drank at night were big martinis and champagne glasses, wine, and then scotch or bourbon in the clubs. She said she had no idea how they made it through. The booze made the pain go away, but it made her depression worse. She started to think that no one should love her. It got so bad that film shoots had to start early so she wouldn't get too drunk. She slept with Robert Mitchum in the years between Shaw and Sinatra. He had a wife. It didn't bother her. She later said, "I was crazy about him." Though she was seeing Sinatra, she kept seeing Mitchum. When she told Mitchum that things were getting serious with Frank, he said, "That guy's dangerous." She didn't listen. The triangle was over, but the chaos had just begun. Afterward, Mitchum told his friends that she was the most beautiful and toxic woman he had ever met. It was real. It seemed like Ava was meant to be in trouble. After that came Frank Sinatra. They met by chance. That night it was 1943 and the club was dark. It was still true that Ava Gardner was married to Mickey Rooney. It was already 27 years old and Frank Sinatra was married to Nancy Barbato. He was still shocked when he saw Ava. "Hey, I should have met you sooner," he spoke quietly. There was an instant spark, but neither of them did anything about it. Not yet. After a few years, Ava joined Frank's famous baseball team, the Swooners. She was just Batgirl. He was second baseman. They felt a real pull toward each other, but they kept their distance. Both of them were still married. Sinatra saw a picture of Ava in a magazine and told his friends, "One day I'm going to marry that girl." But Ava didn't swoon when they met for real. She believed he was cocky, haughty, and too much for her to handle. They kept coming back together, though. In 1949, it finally took place. At a party, they saw each other again. Ava was 26 years old. At age 33, Sinatra's business was in bad shape. He didn't sell out shows. His voice was getting weak. But that night, he came in with a cocktail, a smile, and those famous blue eyes. Ava remembered it very well. When he was in the mood, Frank Sinatra was the nicest and most charming person in the world. That's when their relationship started. It wasn't just a one-night stand. Sinatra was crazy about it. In the same year, he made a version of You're My Thrill, just for Ava. There were only 3 made in total. One of them stayed in Ava's collection of personal records. But there was something wrong. Frank was married still. He had 3 kids living with him. The next day was Valentine's Day 1950. Frank told Nancy he was leaving her. Everyone was shocked. Divorce wasn't done by Catholics, and it wasn't done in public either. Ava didn't hang out. He had to drive to his house and call Nancy in front of her one time just to say it out loud. "I need to split up." At first, Nancy said no. Her goal was to keep her marriage together. Nicole Jr., Frank Jr., and Tina were their children, but the tabloids were very mean to them. Someone named Ha Hopper, Lula Parsons, the Catholic Church, and his fans. A lot of people liked Sinatra. In October 1951, the split was finally finalized. After only 72 hours, on November 7, Sinatra married Ava Gardner. She carried chameleons and flowers and wore a mauve cocktail dress. There were only a few family members there. They tried to hide from the cameras but failed. Everyone now knew about their love, but it wasn't fair. Ava was famous in 1949. Sinatra was a jerk. He couldn't sing anymore because he did it too much. He was dropped by Columbia Records, his agent fired him, his TV show was taken off the air, he was even let go by MGM. It hurt him that Ava was making money while he was going out. His pride was hit over and over. It's funny because Ava was the one who saved him. She helped him get the part of Maggio in the movie From Here to Eternity. He came back to life. His win didn't make things better. Ava once said that they weren't proud of their work. It was each other. The crisis they were in was a media circus. Ava got mean mail. She was called a home wrecker. A lot of letters with mean words came in. Many of Sinatra's fans, mostly women, turned against him. They liked how he seemed like a family man. They thought of him as the person who dumped his wife and kids for a movie star. Even the church said he was bad. The press picked them apart, and the business world did the same. Sinatra didn't have a record deal, a movie, or any friends left by 1952. They didn't care, though. Still, they got married. She was 28 years old. 35. The next 10 days, they were on a flight in Nairobi, Kenya, celebrating their first wedding anniversary. That's where Ava was shooting Magambo. The outfit she wore was blue and had pearls on it. The couple tried to look like any other couple, but there was something off about them. It was like they were on fire, angry, and driven to chaos. The drinking never stopped. Gardner once said that every night they drank 3 or 4 big martinis. After that, they would drink wine and hard liquor. They fought in public, and it was usually very bad. Promises were broken or glass was broken. After Gardner had her second abortion in November 1952, things really went bad. This one was worse because Sinatra didn't know about it at the time and is said to have said something later. While she was recovering from the surgery in London, someone overheard her say something that would become one of the scariest lines in Hollywood history. "Frankie made me so angry. I didn't want that baby to be born." The words were spoken at a weak time, but they were very sharp. It wasn't about fear, time, or work. They were about being mean. When those 9 words finally got back to Sinatra through the gossip scene in Hollywood, they broke him. Things were already bad in the marriage, but this quote made the sadness even worse. Friends say that Sinatra was very sad when he heard about the abortion. On a deeper level, though, this felt like treachery. Sinatra tried to kill himself 3 weeks after they broke up in public on October 29, 1953. He was found in an elevator in his Manhattan apartment building with cuts and blood on his wrists. It happened before. A few months before, he had also tried to kill himself after seeing Gardner in Africa and learning that she was having an affair with Luis Miguel Dominguin, a Spanish bullfighter. He thought of her green eyes looking over him in the hospital at that time, but she never showed up. Sinatra had a lot of sadness. He used to say that he was an 18-carat manic depressed. He would take sleeping pills or turn up the heat in their house and wait after a fight with Ava. He took a dangerous mix of pills and alcohol after a fight at the Cal Neva Lodge. The one he tried in November 1953 was the worst. Jim Van Heusen, his friend, found him just in time. Sinatra almost died, but he made it. Ava was getting farther away the whole time. After making Mombo in Africa, she didn't go back to Sinatra. Instead, she went straight to Spain. There, she started an affair with Dominguin, who was Spain's most famous matador. She asked for a divorce in June 1954, even though she was still married to Frank and seeing Luis Miguel. The news media had a great time. Sinatra was already in bad shape, and now he was being shamed in public. Ava didn't just go to Spain for a short time, it became her way out. She went there for the first time in 1950, but lost her husband and moved there permanently in 1955. Her country gave her freedom and love. She fell in love with the bullfights, flamenco music, and late-night spirit. She could walk around barefoot in Spain, just like she did in the Barefoot Contessa, a part that eerily matched her real life. Her relationship with Dominguin made the news even more crazy. From Here to Eternity helped Frank get his career back on track, but Ava was building a new life that had nothing to do with him or Hollywood. Even though everything was done, the divorce wasn't final until July 1957. 3 years went by while they were stuck in a strange place. Gardner and Dominguin lived together. Sinatra kept working even though it hurt. They were still linked in ways that neither of them could explain after the papers were signed. Sinatra took care of Ava's money like he was still married for almost 20 years. He was still in charge of her money in 1976, 19 years after they broke up. Everything, not just the important things. Ava never asked for help. After she left MGM in 1958, she made a lot of money. Frank wouldn't let go, though. It wasn't about the cash. It was about her. Ava's health started to get worse in the 1980s. That's when Frank came back. He refused to let her do it on her own, even though she had the money to do it herself. He flew her from London to Los Angeles for $50 so she could see a top doctor. Ava said no at first. She was happy. Frank wouldn't give up, though. He paid money for a private jet with medical care. He only cared about making sure she got the best care. By 1986, she had already had a stroke. She couldn't move half of her body. She needed air to live. Frank stayed close, quietly but fully, through it all. What they had was still visible to those around them. Frank was once called the love of my life by Ava. Frank told her he loved her all the time. Whenever they were together, he sent her a letter every day. She found those telegrams years later, even though they were sent from different parts of the world. They filled up a whole bag. He married other people. She did the same thing, but they were always connected. Ava was Frank's only real love even when he was married to Mia Farrow in the 1960s. He told her this over the phone. He asked her to come to his villa in Rome in 1965 while he was shooting there. His friends said he was trying to get her back. Ava never stopped remembering those times. Until the day she died, she kept a picture of the two of them next to her bed. Once they were no longer married, Frank sent flowers every year. Ava moved from Spain to London in 1968. She had tax issues and wished for peace and quiet. Andesmore Gardens, number 34, is the address of the apartment she bought in Knightsbridge. She decorated it with Asian things and made it a calm place away from Hollywood. Her helper said it was cozy, with big shelves, screens, and soft chairs by the fire. Ava didn't go out very often. She liked being at home with her corgis and Carmen, her maid, making dinner. She only left the house for dance, the theater, or a quiet drink with Inez Moore. She didn't answer most calls after her stroke in 1986, but she did answer Frank's. A nurse put the phone to her ear when he called. He spoke for the whole time. He would love her, that getting old was awful. He kept calling her even when she couldn't answer. Ava went back to the U.S. for the last time in May 1985. Then, on January 25, 1990, she passed away peacefully at age 67. It was bronchial asthma that caused it. After 4 days, more than 300 people met in Smithfield, North Carolina. Her last words were, "I'm tired." She was put to rest next to her family in the cold and rain. A simple footstone was put on her grave because that's what she asked for. Frank didn't make it, but he sent a flower. The card only said Francis. That's what she always called him. Some said they were her favorite flower, the yellow rose. Some people said they were pink. It didn't matter. It was important that he remembered. During the whole event, her sister Myra cried. The other sister, Beatrice, was too sick to come. After 3 years, she died. The eulogy was given by a neighborhood minister. He said Ava was real, not perfect. She loved where she came from. She never put on a show of being someone else. The things that Ava planned to give to her sisters in 1986 were given to them. The rest would be given to good causes like St. Jude's Hospital and the Ava Gardner Museum after they died. Even though it began in the tobacco fields of North Carolina and finished in Hollywood, her story was a long way from where it began.